What's going on, guys, and welcome to today's video. And today I'm pretty darn excited for the mod, the install, whatever you want to call it today. We are taking the factory MOPAR beadlock capable wheels and actually making them beadlock wheels. One really cool thing about some of the Jeep Wranglers is the Extreme 35 package or a 392. Those came with factory beadlock capable wheels. Now the kind of in parentheses is capable because you couldn't beadlock them from the factory, if you will. You needed the MOPAR accessory beadlock ring kit. Which, great, go order yourself a set, and then you'll find the issue of them basically kind of being on internal back order and just never being available. For like years and years, you can look back and see threads of people trying to get the MOPAR beadlock ring, and they're just unavailable, or the one you actually need is not available because there are two different sets of MOPAR Jeep Wrangler beadlock wheels. There is a 25 bolt and a 24 bolt version, depending on the wheel design and etc. So you were kind of SOL. I've literally bought two sets of these wheels on Marketplace, and people were getting rid of them because they were buying beadlock wheels because you could never get parts to make these things beadlock. But there is one guy, one company that is actually here to save the day for the factory beadlock capable wheels, and I don't know that anybody knows about them. It is OMF Performance. Now they do make really cool UTV billet, CNC'd wheels with beadlock and all of that, but that's not really what we're interested in. We are interested in their solution for the factory MOPAR beadlock wheels. And again, they've got solutions for the 24 bolt and the 25 bolt version. They've got these incredibly awesome looking CNC milled version, and then they've got a solid ring version also available. Obviously, I'll have the website down in the description so you guys can click on the website and check out all of their solutions. But these things are a freaking work of art. We will get into this here in a second, but what they've also got on their website is rings for raceline wheels, method wheels. They've got solutions for a lot of the aftermarket options out there. Now, like I said, two different options here on depending on which wheel you've got, the 25 bolt or the 24 bolt. Now, and I keep referencing 25 bolt and 24 bolt. Like I said, the Extreme 35 or Extreme Recon package Jeeps versus the 392, the original 392 wheels versus the now 392 Extreme Recon. There's a whole lot of different things to make sure, or you need to count the bolts, but the website does have pictures, obviously, of the correct wheel corresponding with the right beadlock ring. Now, he does have multiple colors that you can then spec in the rings, and of course you can then order hardware kits if your wheels don't have all of the beadlock trim ring bolts like mine. These, throughout the years, they had all the bolts, then they only had every other bolt. Some of them, like this, only have like 8 bolts. So it is just absolutely dependent on what year those wheels came off of, but it doesn't matter because you can order bolt kits. So before we get into actually installing a ring onto a wheel, why do you want beadlock rings on your Jeep, or what's the point of it? I've already got them mounted, But now, of course, beadlock wheels, traditionally, you can beadlock it, you can run a lower pressure without worrying about the outer bead de-beading. Now, is that why I wanted to beadlock these wheels? Sure, about 10% of the reason, but the main big difference on these wheels is getting, at least in this case, 3/4 of an inch more wheel width when you have it set up in the beadlock configuration. Here is a picture of one of these wheels with the beadlock ring sitting on top of the mounting surface with a measuring tape between the original standard conventional mounting and now the new beadlock mounting area. That is 3/4 of an inch. So that takes your 8-inch wide Extreme Recon wheels and turns them into 8.75-inch wheels. If you have the original 392 wheels, which are 7.5, you've now got an 8.25-inch wheel, and it's still OEM looking. That is like 90% of the reason why I wanted to turn these or convert these from standard conventional mounting to beadlock mounting. Currently these wheels have a set of 35 1250 mud terrains, but in a few months these are going to get swapped out for a set of 38 1350 Nitto trail grapplers. So I knew I wanted or badly needed that additional, 3/4 of an inch of wheel width for the upcoming 13.5-inch wide Nittos that are going to be going on these off-road wheels. So yeah, that's why you want them. And again, there's one guy, one company. This is the company to get them from. MOPAR, if you could ever even find them available, they are even more expensive, and you don't have options on cool colors and the different styles. So, I mean, this is the one guy out there actually making a product that's good. So, what you're going to need to do, if you've got a already mounted wheel and tire, that is going to need to have the top bead broken down and that top bead flipped to the top of the wheel, if that makes sense. Now, I luckily have access to a tire machine, so it's really easy for me to say, yep, just pull the outer beadlock ring or the trim ring off. We then throw it on the tire machine, break the top bead down, and flip it to the top. Now, one thing we desperately need to make sure of is we are cleaning the bead of the tire and the wheel, because that now is a mating surface for that tire. That's where our tire pressure is being held with. Now guys, looking at my wheels and tires here, another kind of big benefit that I didn't even think of is with that added tire width, we are actually even protecting the wheel even more. So here is the traditional conventional mounted XR wheel with the trim ring, with the tire. You can see how much of that wheel or the trim ring sticks out past the face of the tire. Coming over to a now bead-locked setup, that outer bead protrudes, a ton, a ½ inch or so past the face of the wheel, which again is from moving that bead to the outer position. I don't know how well this is going to show here on camera, but it is pretty drastic on how pinched this tire is. We can see this is flat and these tread blocks are both curving over, basically not sitting flat on the ground because that tire is pinched. Moving now over to our bead-locked wheel and tire, that now is considerably flatter. Again, kind of hard to tell on camera, but in person it is just blatantly a wider contact patch now with a bead-locked setup. Now guys, one last thing. Here is the ring. Again, this is the crazy awesome looking CNC milled out in just the raw aluminum with no finish on it. Pretty cool because you've got drains here in all of the little pockets, so water, dirt and mud isn't going to collect in between the wheel and the beadlock ring. And one thing that's really cool is their kind of gription knurling CNC finish here on the actual area that holds the wheel. So that wheel, or that tire, excuse me, is not going to slip, move anything. That thing is locked in place here once that beadlock ring is bolted and torqued down. So guys, like I said, once the trim ring is off, once you've got the bead cleaned and the mating surface on the outside cleaned, we're ready to make sure the tire is actually seated fully on the wheel. So let me show you real quick. So as we can see over here, we are fully seated, but over here, the tire is just pressed up above that. So a little flat blade screwdriver, a little trim tool of some sort, you can kind of slowly work to get that tire bead pressed and laying flat below that mating surface. Now I've just got this wheel sitting on a 5-gallon bucket that kind of helps to let the tire fall down around the sides while the wheel is being held up in the middle. So I'm gonna get this fully seated or laid down, and then we'll be able to get the ring started on. So with the tire fully seated, we're ready to get our ring set into place. Now there is even a notch that corresponds with our valve stem location. So make sure you've got that lined up correctly. Now, like I said, we've got our optional hardware here, which this did need since I only had like 8 bolts per trim ring. We've got nice black finished bolts with washers to go under each of those. So we will just get all of those hand started first. Okay, so now that we've got all of them hand started, we are not using an impact to tighten the bolts. These are all going to be torqued by hand, but what we are going to do is use a power tool to snug up the bolts. So we've got a very low torque impact here. Again, we're going to be working in a star pattern all over this thing, slowly snugging up the bolts before we start torquing. So keep that in mind. You are not rattling these down tight. I am just using this to speed up the process, to snug them up. Okay guys, so now that we've got all of the bolts snugged up, like I said, we did not impact them down, we just ran the threads down and tightened the ring. We're gonna kind of start the process of, again, now torquing the ring bolts down. And again, we are going to want to work in a star pattern as much as possible. Now, torque specs. You know, you're gonna wanna be MOPAR beadlock wheels, they're wanting 22 to 25 foot-pounds. That's kind of roughly where we're going to be for these wheels per the MOPAR instruction. So we are again going to start working these beadlock rings down. Now, do you need a fancy electric torque wrench? No, absolutely not. Any torque wrench is going to be fine. And again, it's just the process of slowly working this thing down. Now, again, we don't want to just crank and turn and turn and turn. We're doing kind of like quarter half turns on this thing. Again, as we work in as much of a star pattern as we can. We're just kind of, you know, going from side to side, bolt to bolt, and slowly working this ring down. So I'm going to be here for quite a while as I slowly, like I said, work this beadlock ring down. So I'm not gonna record the, 10, 15 minutes of me bouncing all around on this thing, but again, that's what we're doing, back and forth and slowly sucking that ring down to evenly torque all the bolts there. So I'll jump back in here once we've got this thing torqued down. All right, guys, we are fully torqued. I'm gonna take one more lap around here. But once you've got all the bolts evenly torqued, you're gonna be ready to air the tire up. So guys, just like that, we've now got a bead-locked, aired up tire that is basically ready to go. Now, as you guys can see, I already had 2 of them already mounted up. I did go ahead and throw them on the tire balancer, and both of them were like 1.5 ounces or so out of spec on balance. Now, were they probably already slightly out of balance? Yes, but if you haven't balanced your tires in a while, which you probably haven't, it might not be a bad idea to have your wheels and tires balanced. Now, after installing the beadlock rings, you've potentially added a little bit more weight with the additional bolts. Again, mine were only like the 4-bolt or the 8-bolt version, so I've now added quite a few more bolts onto one face of the wheel. So run them down the road. If they feel great, awesome. If not, again, you might want to have them balanced. But I am like outrageously excited, not only just because of them being beadlocked, but like I said originally, just the added wheel width gained, even on these 12.5-inch wide mud terrains. But again, like I said, moving forward, going on to the 13.5-inch wide tires, it's going to be so needed having that additional wheel width. Now, yes, you could go out and buy yourself some aftermarket wheels and tires, but I really like OEM fitment, quality, what have you, and that's what I'm getting here with the factory wheels, and now able to actually use them for their beadlock capable, you know, feature that you could never really use before OMF came along and actually made the darn rings for the thing. So if you've always wanted to actually beadlock your darn wheels like I have, absolutely go check them out. Like I said, they're the only name in the game if you actually want to beadlock your MOPAR wheels, and dang, they look really cool. I'm pretty excited about the raw aluminum finish. Our off-road wheels get pretty rock rashed up, so if in the future you know, they get too gnarled up, I can throw some paint on them and boom, they're a new color. So again, pretty pumped about that. Absolutely go check out their website down in the description and see about what cool color you want to get for your beadlock capable wheels, and get your torque wrench ready, because it's quite a project, but the results are awesome. I'm very ready for the weather to warm up so we can actually get out for our next off-road trip. We were supposed to be going this weekend, but it's supposed to be like 10 inches of snow. So I don't think we're going in 8 degrees with 10 inches of snow. That sounds like not a fun time. So guys, thanks for coming out into the garage and doing something really cool here with the factory beadlock capable MOPAR wheels. And guys, go check out a set for yourself. Like I said, website down in the description. And guys, as always, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys next time.